Trump's bombastic buffoonery has generated quite a storm in the last day. His January the 7th press conference at Mar-a-Lago, which I talked about in a previous video, and his talking about the annexation of Greenland and the Panama Canal by force, if necessary, has sent shockwaves around the world. A blend of incredulity and strategic concern in equal measure. What is he doing? Because, suddenly he sacrifices the moral high ground in any sort of conversation with Putin, because he's basically saying, Here's land, belongs to someone else. I want it. I'm going to take it by force if necessary. What on earth does that mean? Greenland's rare earth minerals, the Arctic shipping routes, the military radar bases, it's a place that has significance for the US military, particularly with respect to its global positioning between Russia and China. And the EU and Danish reaction, I've been looking at some of the reports in Le Monde and various other newspapers. The French Foreign Minister, Barrot, has indicated firm opposition to any threats against EU sovereign borders. And the Danish Prime Minister has reaffirmed Greenland's autonomy. And the Greenlandic MP, Kuno Fenka, has said sovereignty and self-determination are non-negotiable. The local sentiment is a preference for independence, not for US annexation, not for another form of imperialism. As for the Panama Canal, a return to Carter-era diplomacy, and where the US built the canal, maybe in 1914, and then relinquished control under President Carter's 1977 treaty. It's as if, Carter is barely buried, and he's barely dead, and suddenly Trump is busy digging up his legacy. Panama's tolls on American ships are a betrayal. Well, that's the price of history. And Germany condemns any sort of altering borders by force, and Panama's defiance, its sovereignty over the canal, is untouchable. The canal now. What will be next? Where does America intend to plant its flag next? This is imperialism by any definition, and it's repulsive to hear and see. The EU says Jean-Noël has said the EU is ready to defend its territorial integrity. And he talks about the law of the strongest and a warning against intimidation. And there are institutional challenges here. The EU relies on NATO. It doesn't have its own direct capability to launch a defense against the might of the US, but Article 42.7 could be invoked in theoretical discussions, but for a NATO state to attack another NATO state, this is going to strain the transatlantic relationship with the US in a way that has not been tested before in living memory. And NATO's uneasy balancing act between internal criticism and a federation of allies is suddenly blown to the wind by Trump's stupidity. The media and local politicians have amplified European calls for strategic autonomy and have mocked Trump in the press. Trump's Greenland ambitions are likened to real estate shopping, and Trump's talk echoes the colonial era language of roads and the various people penetrating into Africa to the white man's grave, equipped with their bottles of oh gosh, I can't what. Anyway, they're equipped with their gin and tonic, and there's an element of madness, patronising madness. It's either the gin and tonic or paintings of the 19th century U.S. manifest destiny with the angel taking out the I was going to say taking out the trash, but it amounts to the same sort of thing, taking out the electric cable across to the west, go west. And Trump's rhetoric, we may dismiss it as bluster, but it underscores the fragility of our global alliance in the face of populism. It underscores the importance of a robust international response that safeguards sovereignty. And I suppose this is about whether or not this will provoke a stronger Europe, a greater solidarity between Britain and Europe, or whether it will highlight the vulnerabilities. And how this plays out with respect to Trump's mission to stop the Ukraine conflict, the die is thrown. It's not cast. It's thrown to the winds. This is madness. This is the era of madness, and in the extraordinary coverage, of course, Musk is also heavily criticised for his invasion of European politics, from the AfD to his comments in the British press through Twitter. And I hope lessons are learnt by Trump and Musk, and I hope they take this to heart. But I don't think Europe is going to is going to forget this verbal assault quickly, and it's going to think twice before it trusts Trump, which is a great shame, because Trump was offering hope, and now that his inauguration is within his grasp, what is evident is the fear that he projects. And you look one way, Trump, you look at the other way, Putin, and it's very difficult to see the difference. Just that one of them has actually done something, and that hasn't proven to be very successful, and the other one wants to do it. It's an horrific thought.